Imagine living in a time when celestial beings from distant worlds came to Earth, created advanced civilizations, and influenced human development. The Anunnaki, the race that has fascinated researchers and enthusiasts, has its origins in ancient Sumerian texts. These beings are not confined to a single race or location. They represent a diverse assemblage from various parts of the universe. Ancient texts, scrolls, and artifacts reveal their origins, often pointing to the Pleiadian star system. Well, if you are new here, I invite you to be part of our community by subscribing to our channel. Here, you will always find captivating explorations of the unknown. Are these beings really more than just myths? Where did they originate? To find these answers, we turn to the unique wisdom of Dolores Cannon, a regression hypnotherapist and pioneering author who has spent her life exploring the hidden realms of human consciousness and the influence of extraterrestrial beings. In her book, The Three Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth, she investigates the roles of extraterrestrial souls incarnating on Earth to help us in our transformation. Their extensive research provides valuable information, establishing a solid foundation of trust and credibility. Evidence of their existence spans many continents and cultures, from the Sumerian Enuma Elish and the Epic of Gilgamesh to the Indian Mahabharata and the Egyptian Book of the Dead. The indigenous tribes of North America and the Aborigines of Australia also tell similar stories of celestial beings, often associated with the Pleiades star cluster. The Pleiades, also known as the Seven Sisters, are a recurring theme in ancient artifacts from regions such as Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Mesoamerica. These cultures not only depict the star system, but also trace their origins to it. The Aborigines of Australia, for example, believed they were seeded by the Pleiadians, a belief supported by ancient hieroglyphs documented while hiking in the Australian desert. These glyphs, estimated to be around 5,000 years old, add to the growing body of evidence that suggests ancient civilizations had contact with extraterrestrial visitors. A common theme in these stories is an ancient galactic conflict in the Pleiades, which dispersed these beings across several star systems, including our own. This ancient war led to the creation of separatist civilizations, with Earth being one of them. These advanced beings, with larger skulls and bodies, are believed to have settled here, significantly influencing early human societies. Although similar in appearance to us, they possessed technological prowess far beyond ours. By examining ancient texts and artifacts, a narrative begins to form that suggests our ancestors were part of a larger interstellar community, influenced by celestial events and beings from other worlds. This perspective sheds light on ancient events that may have triggered the formation of several breakaway civilizations, not just in our solar system, but also across the Milky Way. For many years, mainstream timelines have suggested that human civilization lasted 4,000 to 6,000 years, influenced by biblical narratives dating back 5,000 years. However, recent archaeological evidence challenges this view, suggesting that our history extends much further, going back 10,000 to 12,000 years, and possibly 20, 30, or even hundreds of thousands of years. Let's delve into ancient Sumerian texts, particularly the Enuma Elish, which provides a detailed account of the formation of the solar system, described with astonishing scientific precision. It chronicles the creation of our solar system, explaining planetary formations and gravitational interactions. According to these texts, the solar system originally included a planet called Tiamat, which existed between Mars and Jupiter. At that time, Mars was a habitable moon orbiting Tiamat, along with what is now our moon. The text describes a colossal collision when a satellite of Nibiru, probably a moon, collided with Tiamat. This event destroyed Tiamat, creating the asteroid belt we see today. The impact caused a significant fragment to break apart, carrying water, life and land, eventually coalescing to form Earth. Earth, as a result of this event, became the third planet from the Sun. This massive collision also altered the positions of other celestial bodies. Venus was pushed back, Mercury moved closer to the Sun, and Mars was thrown into an elliptical orbit. Astrophysicists today recognize that Mars's orbit is peculiar and suggest that it may have orbited another body, aligning with ancient reports. The surface of Mars also shows evidence of this tumultuous past, with one side full of craters and the other smooth, indicating a massive impact. Additionally, Mars' equator is tilted 45 degrees, supporting the theory of a catastrophic event that reshaped the planet. These events occurred millions of years ago, setting the stage for Earth's development. The texts suggest that around 450,000 years ago, the Anunnaki arrived on a rejuvenated Earth, full of life. At that time, the first hominids, our ancient cousins, had already inhabited the planet. According to oral traditions from several indigenous cultures, such as the Aborigines of Australia and North American tribes, humanity was seeded on Earth by extraterrestrial beings. These stories align with the idea that, after Earth was reformed, beings from other worlds introduced or reintroduced life here. When these beings arrived, Earth was in a prosperous state, with thriving ecosystems and primitive hominids. However, they did not immediately interact with native hominids. It was only around 200,000 years ago that significant contact occurred, as detailed in the Epic of Atrahasis. This epic tells of a revolt by the Igigi, the working-class Anunnaki, who worked on Mars and Earth. They grew tired of their work and rebelled against the higher gods, Anu, Enki, and Enlil. This rebellion led to a crucial turning point. The higher gods decided to create a new being to take on the laborious tasks. They used the genetic material of existing hominids, mixing it with their own, to create a more advanced species, Homo sapiens. This genetic engineering marked the beginning of humanity as we know it, designed to serve the needs of the Anunnaki. More than 200,000 years ago, in the region we now call South Africa, an ancient site known as Adam's Calendar was established. This site is believed to be one of the oldest gold mines on Earth. To avoid a war, Enki proposed a radical solution. They suggested using a species of hominid existing on Earth, combining its essence with that of the Anunnaki. Initially, there was debate about creating new beings, potentially cyborgs or robots. But this idea was discarded due to past experiences with artificial intelligence on their home planet. Fearing that the AI could become uncontrollable and outnumber them, the Anunnaki turned to genetic modification. They manipulated human DNA, disconnecting certain parts, shrinking the pineal gland, and introducing what we now call junk DNA. They also modified gene number 2, added telomere caps, and integrated a worship gene, ensuring that humans would view the Anunnaki as gods. This genetic engineering resulted in a new species, Homo sapiens, created to do work. This genetic modification effectively prevented immediate conflict, but the rule of this race continued for tens of thousands of years. During this time, humans, unaware of their enslavement, worked diligently for their so-called gods. Advanced civilizations were built, and evidence of these societies dates back to the legendary Atlantis. Atlantis was not just a city, but a global civilization with countless capitals around the world. Every part of Earth today sits on top of what was once Atlantis. Records such as the Emerald Tablets of Thoth describe this civilization in detail. Thoth, son of Atlantis, and his father Enki were instrumental in building this high-tech society. A catastrophic event, commonly referred to as the Great Flood, devastated much of this advanced civilization. However, they began to rebuild, moving their central center from Mesopotamia, present-day Iraq, to Egypt, known in ancient times as Kemet. The rise of the Sumerian civilization, marked by a sudden increase in advanced knowledge and technology, is attributed to their assistance. Tens of thousands of cuneiform tablets and cylinder seals from this period depict these beings and their interactions with humans. Museums such as the British Museum and the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford house these artifacts, which include detailed star maps and the lifespans of rulers. The Sumerian king list, for example, records reigns that last tens of thousands of years, highlighting the extraordinary nature of these beings. After the flood, these beings decided to create intermediaries between themselves and humans. These intermediaries were kings or pharaohs, often of mixed Anunnaki and human ancestry, who served as connecting links. In ancient Egypt, these beings were known as Netiru, or Netters, considered divine and not of this world. Thoth, following his father's instructions, traveled to Kemet to rebuild civilization. He and his team re-established a high level of culture and technology, and then spread these advances globally. The recurring theme of divine beings from the stars permeates many ancient cultures, including the stories of Yeshua, Jesus, who declared several times in the Bible that he was not of this earth. This consistent narrative of celestial origins is supported by extensive evidence left in ancient texts and artifacts. When Thoth embarked on his mission to Kemet, he was tasked with rebuilding a sophisticated society. His efforts, documented in the Emerald Tablets, highlight the role of these beings in the formation of early human civilization. These ancient texts and artifacts provide a glimpse into a past where human history was deeply intertwined with beings from outside our world. The influence of these celestial beings on early human civilization was profound, spreading across all major continents and rebuilding societies with a uniform model. This worldwide consistency is no coincidence. Beings operated under a single architectural plan. Although artistic motifs varied slightly from one region to another, the fundamental design remained unchanged. These advanced beings manipulated human labor on a global level, rebuilding their lost civilization and taking advantage of the workforce of our ancestors. This process began tens of thousands of years ago, with the Emerald Tablets of Thoth dating back approximately 36,000 to 38,000 years. Thoth, an influential figure in ancient Egyptian tradition, ruled the land of Kemet, present-day Egypt, for 16,000 years, suggesting that these events predate commonly accepted historical timelines. Genetic evidence supports the theory that Homo sapiens was significantly altered about 200,000 years ago. Geneticists discovered that chromosome number 2 in humans was fused and covered with telomeres, an artificial modification that has limited our life expectancy to about 120 years. This genetic tampering aligns with accounts found in Sumerian tablets, further corroborating the claims of the ancient texts. Scientists at Harvard University confirmed these genetic changes, indicating a deliberate change in our DNA. Throughout history, different cultures have portrayed gods with varying skin colors and features, suggesting the diverse appearance of these extraterrestrial beings. In Indian texts like the Bhagavad Gita, gods are described with blue skin, not as a metaphor, but as a literal characteristic. These blue-skinned beings were part of the advanced celestial race, further proving their varied racial makeup. Some of these entities were described as having African features with dark skin, while others had light skin, blonde hair and blue eyes, resembling different human races. This diversity suggests that racial differences among humans may result from the genetic imprint of rulers who oversaw different regions. Geneticists have discovered a 2% variation in genes between breeds, a change that would normally take millions of years through natural evolution, but has occurred within the last 200,000 years. This rapid change implies an intentional genetic imprint designed to make populations resemble their heavenly overseers. Giants, or beings of extraordinary size, are another recurring theme in ancient texts. They are described as much larger than current humans and are mentioned in several scriptures and myths. The celestial race itself was often described as giants. Over time, as these giants interbred and adapted to Earth's conditions, their offspring became progressively smaller. If humans lived on a planet with less gravity, like Mars, our physical abilities would seem superhuman. A person born and raised on Mars, with its lower gravitational pull, would be less physically robust than their Earth-born ancestors, due to the gravitational difference that affects muscle development. The consistent appearance of pyramids and megalithic structures throughout the world points to a unified plan carried out by the celestial race. Their genetic modifications and the resulting diversity in human appearance further underscore their lasting impact on our development. By exploring ancient texts and modern genetic research, we uncover a story that challenges traditional narratives and reveals a complex interaction between humans and their heavenly visitors. The process of genetic adaptation and the physical effects of different planetary environments significantly influence the beings that came to Earth. If we consider humans moving to Mars over generations, the reduced gravity would result in elongated muscle fibers, making the inhabitants weaker and potentially smaller. By the second or third generation, humans born on Mars would be accustomed to lower gravity, making them potentially fragile in the Earth environment without special support. The beings described in ancient texts came from much larger planets, about 4 to 6 times the size of Earth. These colossal planets would create powerful gravitational forces, resulting in inhabitants with enormous strength and size when they reached Earth. Astrophysicists have theorized that a huge planet may have passed through our solar system millions of years ago, influencing the positions of other planets, such as Uranus, which is tilted on its side. These visitors, originating from such massive worlds, would be seen as superhumans on Earth. Their large size and strength allowed them to effortlessly move giant rocks and trees. Ancient humans, our earliest relatives, witnessed these colossal beings and described them as giants, using terms like 10 cubits tall. Hieroglyphs and ancient texts from Egypt portray these beings as enormous, with humans reaching only to their knees or waists. Similarly, in Sumerian artifacts found in modern-day Iraq, cylindrical scrolls and cuneiform tablets depict these enormous beings. Over time, as these beings continued to live on Earth and interbreed with humans, their size and characteristics gradually decreased. Environmental factors such as Earth's gravity, oxygen levels, and sunlight influence their physical form, making each successive generation smaller and more human-like. Initially, they had distinctive physical features, such as elongated skulls and large jaws. The Paracas skulls, discovered in Peru, are a notable example. These skulls have only one parietal plate, unlike human skulls, which have two. Such unique anatomical features cannot be easily dismissed and support the idea of a distinct lineage. Throughout history, the names of these beings have changed between cultures and eras. Enki became Poseidon. Thoth was known as Hermes in Greece, Mercury in Roman mythology, and Quetzalcoatl in Mesoamerica. Despite the different names, these numbers are consistently linked to advanced knowledge and technology originating from the same celestial race. The second category of giants mentioned in ancient texts is the Nephilim. Referenced in the Old Testament and the Torah, these beings resulted from the cross between celestial visitors and human women. The Nephilim were often depicted as huge and sometimes deformed, with features such as unique eyes or unusual limbs. This genetic mix produced two types of giants: the wise and capable heroes of old, and the malformed, less successful descendants. The widespread presence of pyramids around the world, from Egypt to Mesoamerica to Japan and China, raises questions about cultural exchange and knowledge sharing in ancient times. The pyramids in each region share a common architectural base, but exhibit unique styles. For example, the pyramids of Teotihuacan, Mexico, aligned with the Orion star system, mirror the alignment of the pyramids of Giza, Egypt. Both sets of pyramids share the same basic dimensions, highlighting a shared origin of knowledge. This global spread of architectural techniques and astronomical alignments suggests that these advanced beings spread their knowledge across the planet. Consistency in design and purpose underscores its profound impact on human civilization, leaving a legacy that is still evident in monumental structures spread across the world. The height of the Great Pyramid of Giza is exactly twice that of the Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan, a fact that highlights a remarkable connection between these ancient structures. Both are built on aquifers, which likely serve purposes related to power generation. Although the Nile has altered its course since then, evidence of the aquifer remains beneath the Great Pyramid, suggesting a sophisticated understanding of water sources. In China, 3 famous pyramids also align with Orion's belt and are built on aquifers, demonstrating a shared architectural plan and advanced knowledge. Such alignments are not mere coincidences. When we examine magnetic field maps from the US Geological Survey, significant anomalies are found at pyramid sites around the world, pointing to a common source of technological understanding. The similarities in construction techniques across different continents are striking. The pyramids of Egypt, Mesoamerica, and China employ similar construction methods and alignments. This overall consistency suggests that the knowledge used to build these structures was shared or originated from a common source. Ancient builders clearly possessed advanced engineering skills far beyond what is traditionally recognized. When visiting these structures, the precision and complexity of their design become evident. For example, at Chichen Itza, the acoustics are designed so that a clap of hands produces a sound similar to a bird singing. This level of sophistication would be a challenge, even with modern technology and resources. The moat surrounding Angkor Wat in Cambodia, the largest temple complex in the world, provides another example of advanced ancient engineering. The excavation removed more than 188,000 cubic meters of soil, more than the volume of the Great Pyramid. This enormous effort created a reservoir for irrigation, demonstrating an understanding of hydraulics and agriculture that required extensive planning and knowledge. The evidence of advanced engineering and knowledge shared across continents is overwhelming. These ancient structures are not isolated achievements, but part of a global network of sophisticated civilizations. The precise alignments, construction techniques, and purposes of these structures reveal a level of interconnectivity and technological capability that challenges our understanding of ancient history. The striking similarities and advanced engineering of ancient structures around the world suggest a shared source of knowledge and technology. This shared knowledge allowed ancient civilizations to build monumental structures with precision and purpose, far exceeding what is traditionally believed to be possible with the tools and knowledge of their time. The evidence points to a global civilization, or network of civilizations, that possessed a deep knowledge of engineering, astronomy, and hydraulics. This understanding was applied consistently across the world, leaving behind a legacy of inspiring structures that continue to intrigue and inspire us today. In reflecting on this profound interconnection, we must reconsider our views on ancient history and recognize the possibility of a past much more advanced and interconnected than we have ever imagined. The sophisticated techniques and shared knowledge of these ancient builders suggest a level of technological and cultural exchange that redefines our understanding of human history.